Aloha friends, welcome to my channel. This is Xamanxi, and this is the Moonday reading for the energy for the next several days. And you know, it was interesting setting up this evening. There were so many crystals that wanted to be here with me, and the energy is so vibrant in here. And so I feel like some big shifts have taken place. I know collectively for the last few days, there's been a roller coaster of emotions, of purging, of letting go, of trusting, surrendering. It's been everything. And then these going from like feeling really dense and dark and sad or angry or guilty or whatever the energy is that was coming up for you, and to shifting to these places of enlightenment and vibrant, happy, joyful, peaceful, playful energy. So it's been an interesting last few days. This Moonday reading is going to be a little bit different. They told me that there are a lot of energies, a lot of different energies that are tuning in right now. And so until I can separate the energies by doing different types of readings, I'm going to try to get more focused with what types of readings I'm doing. And I'm going to just let spirit guide me. So whatever spirit comes through with and says this is what people need right now, that's what I'll be putting together and posting for you. But today we have 3 piles to choose from, and then we're going to go deeper with the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. So the first one, and these cards are from the Pocket Isis deck from Alana Fairchild. And the raw stones really wanted to be here today. So this first one, can take a glance at her briefly. And the stone that wanted to come through was the raw Adventurine. Raw Adventurine. And then the second one is this beauty right here. And the stone that wanted to come through with her is the raw rose quartz. Raw rose quartz. And then the final one here. And the stone that wanted to come through with her is the raw citrine. This one is very rare. It's hard to find true citrine that's not just color treated quartz. We have a geologist that we were in connection with that introduced us to these beautiful raw citrine. And personally, I love the raw stones. These are polished, but they're in just the raw natural shape that they were found in. They're not tumbled into like a different pretty type shape. They're just natural. And so I feel like it's the energy that's coming through for the next several days is like a shedding down, they're telling me. So like shedding, maybe releasing like extra layers, letting go. The image that they're giving me is like a snake shedding its skin, and you know, just leaving that that hard, rough skin behind, and then moving into its new smooth stature, I suppose. So go ahead and pick one of the 3 cards, and we're going to go deeper for each of them. The first card we'll start with, timestamps will be underneath for the rest. All right, aloha to those of you who chose the first card with the Adventurine, raw Adventurine. It's really beautiful when it's in its raw form. I mean, it's lovely too when they're when they're polished and made into different shapes, but the raw really brings their energy through. So this is the card you chose, the Isis card. And I'm going to go ahead and just read you the little message that's on the back, and then we'll go deeper. So it says, Spirit of Isis, beloved initiate, there are times to surrender and let go, but there are never times to give up. Persist with your bold faith and inspired action until the impossible happens. Isis has the spirit of triumph and will never fail in her quest, no matter how bold or impossible it seems. Let her inspire you and believe. All right, so the energy I'm already getting with this card is that some of you have been waiting on things to shift. It's like you've had a lot of patience, you've surrendered, you've trusted, you've waited, and things just still are not aligning the way that you were expecting them to. It's just that they're taking more time. You know, the spirit side, our angels and guides are really processing through a lot for us right now. They're helping us in so many ways, the collective energy, and we're clearing a lot. I got this earlier today, this download, that we're clearing a lot of Atlantean timelines, and so like Atlantean Lemurian timelines, and there was a lot of chaos and a lot of destruction that happened during those times. And so that is what's happening right now, is we're going back and clearing a lot of that. And that's why things are happening a lot slower than you would like them to. So let's see, what messages do you have for those that chose the first card, that I feel like need a little bit more faith in believing, and okay, you want both of those, thank you, and trusting that things are happening divinely. Do we need, yeah, one more, they're saying. Which one is it? Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so, you know, right away, the energy that's coming through is trusting in self, trusting in your own intuition, not seeking outside of yourself, knowing that you have learned a lot on your journey, and now the real I guess, you know, I want to say test, even though I don't really care for the word test. It's probably the closest I'm going to get to explaining this right now. Like the final test before you move into, you know, your next life path is what they're telling me. The next big thing that's happening that's going to bring a lot of joy and love to your life is fully trusting and surrendering in self. So they want me to show you these two cards a little closer. All right. So this really, like this first one, out, and they're telling me the blue dragon has significance. So if you work with dragons, possibly calling in the blue dragons, blue-green dragons specifically. I'm seeing a lot of green here. Call in the blue-green dragons to help clear. I'm hearing that they're clearing timelines. They're helping clear timelines to get you to step into your fullest, your highest and best timeline. But it's in, it feels like more of self, like loving self, believing in self, empowering self, being in a place where it's like you know exactly who you are, and there's nothing that anyone can say or do to bring you down or to change that. So very confident energy, that, you know, they're highlighting the golden energy here, which is the solar plexus. So really standing true in your power and who you are and in what you are. They're telling me not just who you are, but in what you are. So you have, those of you that chose this pile have ancient timelines that are being cleared right now. You have timelines where you have had past lives. You may or may not know this already, but you've had past lives during the ancient times. So likely in the times of the gods and goddesses like Isis. Ancient Egypt is coming through very clear. Although they're telling me ancient Egypt is not necessarily where they're saying it's a vibration. Interesting. So it's not, don't think of ancient Egypt as a space, because they're telling me that ancient Egypt was a vibration that happened in different places. And did it just happen in Earth? No. Okay, so in different places and spaces. So, you may have heard, like, actually, if you drive through, like, the Midwest or, if you're in the United States, there are places where it looks like there were, they call them mountains now, but they look like buried pyramids. And so it's like the ancient Egypt, all of that energy was just a vibration, and we're coming back into that vibration. Thank you. So we're coming back into that vibration of community there. So these are just words that they're giving me: community, structure, elegance. Okay, they're saying pride, but can you break that down for me, Spirit? Because they said pride is not what we think it is. Thank you. So normally we think of pride as being something like boastful or like very in the light, but they're saying think of pride as in think of it as in like they're telling me in the animal kingdom, and so I just was connecting with them and asking them if they're talking specifically about like lions, because we hear about the pride of lions, but they're saying there's not a hierarchy. Thank you. So it's a pride in being exactly who you are, and they're saying that the word has just had so many negative connotations put on it that people believe that it's a bad thing. However, it is not a bad thing. You do want to be, you do want to have pride. You do want to stand in your power. You do want to be in that space of knowing who you are and exactly what you can do, what your gifts are. So really bringing those gifts forward, which then brings us to this next card of tapping into your intuition, right? Being in a space where, it's funny, the light is like hitting that third eye space perfectly. It's like lighting up this, pineal gland and tapping into self. And there's the snake too. Interesting. Where you know exactly who you are. It's like, nobody's going to mess with her. Like, look at that face. It's having discernment and being true to who you are and being in that divine feminine. I have the feline energy down here. And it's like she's been through the dark. Like, this lotus flower has blossomed. It's growing. Even like the butterfly energy is just this golden, it looks like it's like cast into gold, that, the butterfly has already emerged. It's like, exactly who you are, and it's time to step into it. It's time for people to know, and not just know. Okay, they're telling me people know when they're around you. They feel it. They know that there's something about you that is just different and unique, and they feel your vibration. They feel that vibration of ancient times, ancient Egypt, that vibration of those higher realms through you, that they can feel that. Which, you've probably noticed people either like really love you and want to be in that light and be in that vibration, or they can't stand you and you're too much for them for what seems like no reason at all, and they don't want to be around you. So they're telling you it's time for you to come out and be open and be exactly who you are in your full authenticity, and not to allow any naysayers to make you feel like you need to be smaller or quieter, or just not being in your truth so that you can make them feel better, so that you can people please, so that you can feel like you're safe. You don't need to be in that space anymore. You've shifted. Your safety is within. Your safety is in your body. You've been grounding into your body. You've been feeling through that. You know that you are safe. You are divinely protected. And so they're telling you to come into this energy and allow other people to witness it, even if it brings out their darkness, even if it brings out their shadow, even if they feel like they, like they can't be around you, or they want to argue with you, or you get in this energy with them. Be true to yourself, be honest, be open, tell them exactly how you feel, and you can be kind about it. But this energy of like being in your authenticity is what's really anchoring you into this energy, which is love. It's coming together. It's unity. It's oneness. It's wholeness. It's union. It's everything that comes together. Like you're ready for this next chapter. You're ready for a new love, or really a new life. They're telling me like a whole new you. You're so ready for it. The thing that is still holding you back from that space is your own belief in who you are, your own belief in how powerful and how powerful and how confident you are in who you are. So really stepping into your I am presence and holding that truth to that. You've worked really hard to get here. This was a journey. This was a space where there were trials and errors. There were things that you had to grow through. There were so many things that you learned, but they're showing that you have come into this energy where you've got it all together. Everything is aligned. Everything is ready for you to move forward. All you have to do is believe, right? Because that's the only thing. It's like anytime you feel like this shift is not happening. So if you feel like, oh my gosh, it's happening, it feels good, I feel like I'm propelling forward, everything's accelerating, I know that what's coming to me is mine, and I feel it coming, it's here, and you're in this energy, and then you have this shift where you're going, well, how come it didn't happen, or what happened, or why didn't it go through, or how come it shifted this way, or why did I jump to this timeline? And you have all these questions. Take yourself back to the power of your belief system, because your beliefs will create your next present moment. So if you go back, if you are being like tested, like they said, in this time of stepping into your power, of knowing who you are, of sharing your truth, and you're holding back because you don't fully believe in yourself, then everything else is going to stay on hold until you do. So I'm going to say that again. If you don't fully believe in yourself and in your power, then everything else is going to stay on hold until you do. All right, so hopefully that message got through to you, because they're saying that you are your own demise. You are what's holding you back. You have this energy of not fully believing in what's going to happen, and or what's manifesting or being created for you and through you. And because of your belief system, it could totally knock you off track and into a hyper timeline. Interesting. I've never heard that expressed like that before, a hyper timeline. I'm going to pull one more oracle card for you guys before we go. So one last message for pile number 1, please. Oh, and there's a ringing in my left ear. So yeah, stretch and expand. Yeah, you are the star child. You are the light. You have all of this light rushing in behind. It's like you are held. Do you see this light? It's holding. It's like, yes, this person is free falling and also being held by the light. So stretch, expand, open up, allow yourself to be exactly who you are and stop holding back. Stop holding back. It's time to step into your power. That's what's going to shift you into what you've been waiting for. Alrighty. Thank you all for choosing pile number 1. Hope you have a wonderful next several days, and we'll see you next time. Adios. All right, aloha for those of you who chose the second card with the rose quartz. Those of you that chose the second card with the rose quartz. So let's see what energy wanted to come through with this. You can see Isis is holding like this scale here. So possibly bringing in balance. This could be like some Libras that chose this, or you're in the Libran energy. And they're pointing out the headdress too. So it's a crown chakra upgrade. Thank you. So let's see. We're going to read just a little message on the back, and then we'll go deeper. So scales of balance. Balancing give and take, directing and flowing, play and solitude are ways to heal the relationship between the inner masculine and feminine energies. Connection with the body is the most powerful form of healing for the feminine energy, as it holds the secrets to divine feminine wisdom. So sing, dance, play. It's funny, you know, I'm sure you're reading, well, not sure, but some of you may be reading this as I was saying it and noticed the word sing came out first. So I think they're telling you to open up, to use your voice, to get into that space of loving your inner feminine. This can be for a man or a woman. We all have masculine and feminine energies. And so the rose quartz coming through to help out with that self-love, to really give you that strength to step into who you are. Let's go ahead and go deeper for those of them that chose pile number 2. What other messages, Spirit, do you have for the next several days for those that chose pile number 2, please? What messages do you have? Okay, that's a lot. We're going to let that one go. Thank you. What messages do you have for those that chose pile number 2? They're wanting to bring some balance between their masculine and feminine energies in this week, the next several days. Let's see what else we got. Okay. They told me to clear them because they want to come out. Okay, we'll let it go. Let me just do a little clearing. Pardon me. Oh yeah, much better. Let's see. What other messages want to come through? Yeah, you guys have some confused energy is what I'm feeling. Like there's some confusion in which way to go. So perhaps you're wondering if you should move forward with something. And it's like your masculine. Do we want that? Okay. Your masculine is wanting to move forward while your feminine is in a little bit of fear. They're wanting to hold back. So your feminine isn't feeling protected and safe to be able to come out and move forward with that masculine energy. So let's see what we have. All right. So the energy here is what's keeping you out of balance? What is stopping you from pushing forward with the next project that you have in mind, or the next, like, I feel like this next several days, for some reason, they feel like a closing out. However, it's like these last little things keep popping up to be cleared. And so for you, it's they're telling me that you feel like, okay, so I guess suppose this is ego, because they're telling me you feel like you're in alignment and you're not. You're not. There's something going on between the throat and the high heart. And this is the space where, oh, there's things, okay, there's just saying there's some grief there. So I'm feeling some pressure in that space. It's right along like the collarbone area. So if you have ever had like an injury with the collarbone, if you've had if you've had to ever wear a neck brace or something like that, they're saying those of you that have experienced some kind of trauma around the collarbone area, that this is coming up to be fully cleared. This is where you are not aligned. You feel like everything is in alignment and everything's good. And it's a lot of, I'm getting like choked up almost. It's a lot of you not being able to speak your truth. So you may be in a relationship where you haven't been able to speak your truth for many years. You may be in a partnership, like a work partnership, where you haven't been able to fully speak your truth. It could be even just with family, like not being able to speak up and set some boundaries and share your truths with them. But there's a lot that's been swallowed down. And I'm feeling like this is, okay, they're saying it's partially ancestry, but not to focus on that. Thank you. The focus should be on you shifting out of some sadness. You probably had some sadness come up in the past few days. And it's like every time the sadness comes up, it's like the wrong place in the wrong time, and you want to swallow it back down and like not let people know you're sad. So maybe you're in a public space and something triggers it and you want to cry, and you're like, oh yeah, this is not the place to be crying right now. Or so they're saying like you've swallowed a lot, you've held on to a lot in this high heart throat chakra space. And it's the space that really is like, they're pointing out the clock. It's like this like ticking time bomb right here, where all of this energy is building up here and building up and building up. And even though he looks so calm, if this goes off, there's going to be an explosion that is going to create more issues. So you've got to start speaking your truth, whether it could just be starting off like writing it down, getting it out of you, writing out some truths, writing some things that you experienced, or think of situations where you've wanted to say something and you haven't, and it's just built up inside of you, and maybe you're trying to find the words. You're recognizing it now. You're wanting to heal it. You're wanting to shift because you have the awareness around it. However, because there's so much of a blockage right there, it's hard for you to find the words to be kind. So this can feel like a very triggering type energy. It could feel like if you're in a conversation with someone and they say something and you let it go and you let it go, and then finally it gets to the point where you just want to go off. Like the anger, the frustration, all of that just wants to come out, and you're still swallowing it down because you don't want to be unkind, or you don't want them to think a certain way of you. And they're telling you like, no, now's the time. So instead of having like this outburst of energy with the people that you're around, like I said, this could be happening at work or in your home with family members. Instead of having this outburst of energy, they're telling you to write it down. Start writing some of these truths out. Maybe if you don't journal, at least start like writing things that triggered you. So taking the time to, even if it's like once a week, to sit down and write. It could be like right before you come and watch, if you're regularly watching the Moonday readings, right before you sit down to watch, what comes to mind, what comes up, what happened in the last several days that you have, swallowed down or not spoken your truth or felt like you couldn't speak up and speak your truth. And just start to get some of that out on paper so that it can come out of you. And the other way they're saying too is that you can use creative energy to shift it as well. So not just writing it down on paper, but you can create, you can do some like, I'm seeing like working with your hands. So arts and crafts, or maybe music, creating music. If you're a musician, painting, but not like I'm not seeing like painting on a canvas. I'm seeing like throwing paint at something. Like it's very abstract type painting, just to get that energy out so that you can finally fully let go and purge that, and then balance that space between your high heart and your throat, and then be able to fully relax down into your heart space and into your feminine, and that will then help balance your masculine and feminine energies. But yeah, you have this, it's like this, this card is like the light versus the dark. Like it really shows them up against each other, and there's this heightened energy that's coming through. So like it doesn't feel negative, it just feels hot. It feels like it gets to a point where okay, and they're telling me this is not just you, this is other people that you're around. So whoever you're experiencing this energy with, it's like you've swallowed stuff down, you've not spoken your truth, you've not spoken up for so long that they have made up their own truths in their mind. And so now it's just this really fiery energy between the two of you, or the two, I want to make sure, the two of you, whether this is a partner, a lover, a friend, a child, just whoever it is that you're around the most, that you're feeling this type of energy with. And it's at its limit is what they're telling me. Like it is at its limit. You see this cup is like overflowing. It's like it's done. It's at its limit. There's nothing good that's going to come of this anymore until one and or both of you start speaking your truth. And both of you are not going to start speaking your truth until one of you does. One of you has to be the person that finally says, hey, this is how I feel. This is, what I haven't said, or maybe what I wanted to say before and I didn't feel safe to say it. My husband and I do this when we trigger each other, or we get into a space where we feel disrespected. Doesn't happen very often. However, I know that my husband has felt disrespected at times. He'll come to me and he'll say, hey, I just need you to hold space for me. And then I completely take myself out of it, and I listen to him like I would a friend. I listen to what he has to say, and vice versa. The same goes for him. There are times when I'm growing through something and he may have done something that triggered me or made me feel off, and I go to him and I say, hey, I just need you to hold space for me. And then in that space, it's a safe place for me to be able to open up. He doesn't react. He doesn't talk back. He doesn't, same goes for me. I don't talk back to him. I don't react to anything he's saying. We really just sit there and silently, consciously take in what they're saying, and then be able to respond in a different manner than like in the moment if we get hot and heated and we get triggered by each other and we react. So this is the energy that is coming up for the next several days. They're telling you to take off the mask. Take off the mask. It's time to fully be you. And it's interesting. We got this for the pile number 1 too. It's like stepping fully into your authenticity. Who are you? Who do you want to be? Who do you want the world to remember you as? What do you want to be remembered as or for? Or how do you want to be remembered by people? Do you want to be remembered by somebody who, or do you want to be remembered as somebody who just let everyone else always get their way, or never really spoke up or never said anything? Or do you want to step into your truth and your authenticity and actually finally live the life that you so deserve? Because I'm getting that this pile is living a life behind a mask. And this has been ongoing for a long while. So this is like acting like everything is great when really underneath it's like that swimming duck. It's like on top of the pond they're great, and underneath they're moving so fast. And that's, I feel like your life cycle has been this whirlwind of keeping this impression of what and how things are. And now you're stepping into a space of wanting to come into your authenticity, be exactly who you are, and be in a space of integrity and honesty with not just other people, with yourself. So perhaps take time, if you're writing, take time to write in the next several days. Take time to write down some truths about yourself, and write down things that are not true, that you've been trying to make your truth, or you've been acting like they are your truth for so long. Write those things down, get them out of you. You're coming into, once you clear all of this, you're coming into this space of this like they're showing me, so they're pointing out the owl, and just being and they said, and the spider, being the divine creator, being able to create the life that you want to live, being in a space where you have complete discernment and nothing can touch you. You are so protected that it doesn't matter what anyone says or does. They're not going to knock you down. Not anymore. Not once you stand in your authenticity, in your truth. And then, things are going to start to come into fruition for you. Until then, though, you're in this balancing act of aligning, clearing. So they're reminding me, clearing that space between the high heart and the throat, being able to speak your truth. If you do tapping, you can tap. It's really easy. Just take and tap your fingertips along your collarbone to start to just wake up that energy and move it out. Vocalizing, so singing, no wonder why sing popped out. Singing, anything to do with like humming, toning, singing, that's going to clear that energy in your throat. Even like screaming into a jar, taking like deep breaths and forcefully letting the energy and the air out, let it go. And really just working on having an active throat chakra. They're saying active and aligned with the high heart. That's the difference. That's why this space in between the high heart and the throat is coming up, because not only do you have to have an active throat chakra, you also have to, it also has to be aligned with your high heart, right? We don't want to get into a space where we're speaking our truth all the time and it doesn't resonate with our heart. It's unkind, or it's, we feel bad afterwards. We don't want to get into a space where we speak our truth and then afterwards we feel like shit for speaking it. We want to be in a space where we can speak our truth and be kind, and then also, be in that energy of love and connection with our high heart. So that is all of the tarot messages for you. I'm going to pull one last oracle card for this pile. So we have one last oracle card, a message to depart for pile number 2. What message do we have for pile number 2? That was it. Yes. All right. Be fluid. Yeah, be fluid. You're coming to the end of a cycle. It's the end. You're right in between the end and the beginning. You haven't fully ended yet, and you haven't fully started the next cycle yet. You're in this point of creation, and they're just telling you to be fluid in this space. Allow yourself to be exactly who you are, and to go in. They're pointing out like how she's like diving underneath. Go into some depths. It may take cycling through some shadow work and really going into depths and facing yourself in those spaces and saying, okay, what have I been lying to myself about? What have I been untrue about? What do I want to change in my life? Where do I want my life to go? And what exactly do I want to come into fruition in my life? And then how do I go about doing that? And it always, always, always ties back to how we treat ourselves and what we're doing for others. So how we treat ourselves, how we love ourselves, how we take care of ourselves, how we nourish ourselves, and what we're doing to be in service of others and to be in our integrity. That is all the messages for y'all. Thank you so much. Pile number 2. Aloha. Those of you who chose pile number 3, you chose the raw citrine. It's a beautiful stone. Like I said, very hard to come by. It's not one that you can typically find. And you have to be careful when you're looking for crystals. They should always feel cold to the touch. That'll tell you that they are real crystals. And feel into their energy. When I go somewhere to get my crystals, I always pick them up and hold them for a moment and feel into their energy and feel if they want to go home with me, feel if they have any messages for me, and if they're real, because unfortunately there are a lot of crystal dealers out there right now that are displaying fake crystals as real ones. So be mindful of that. I don't know why that came through. I guess some of you may be crystal lovers or been shopping for crystals recently. The card that you chose is this beautiful configuration, and the first thing that pops out are these feathers. It's like you have shifted into, you've already shifted. You're through the shift is what they're telling me. You've shifted into an entirely new space, and you have this protection of the Ankh that's coming with you. So let's see what the back says. It says, key of life. The Ankh portends new life being born through you now. This new life being born in whatever form will enrich your life, bringing you more into wholeness and fulfillment. Do not give up on your creative destiny. Stay with it. You are flowing in the right direction, and you have spiritual support from the unseen worlds. Let it happen. Yes, so like I said, you've already stepped into this whole new you. Things are shifting so much for you. They've been escalating very quickly. You've gone through some big shifts. They're telling me lots of shadow has been purged. You've gone in, you've embraced the shadow, and you're rising, and you're in this whole new you. So it feels very, it feels like you're still in the unknown, like you're trying to navigate, almost like a child trying to walk for the first time, where it's exciting and it looks fun, but they can't quite get it yet. So just kind of taking those first steps and seeing how to balance yourself in this new energy. What else do we have for the next several days that wants to come up for this? Those that chose card number 3, what else do we have for them? For those that have chose card number 3, moving into this new chapter, starting an entirely new energy timeline. What do we have for them this next several days? One more they're telling me. Clear the energy a little bit. There's a lot of energy moving through here right now. Okay. Let's start with these and then see where they take us. All right, so you're coming from a space, yeah, this space that you were in, it's like this is a whole new you. You are shifting out of this like victim mentality of being so overworked in your own emotions that it may have been hard to see the next step, to see what was happening next, and you're shifting out of that energy. You've already shifted. Thank you for reminding me, Spirit. You've already shifted out of this energy. So you're up here, you're in the light, and everything feels in alignment right now. It feels like everything has come together. It's moving ahead nicely. There's no like bumps in the road. It just feels like a very natural flow of energy. And it's taking you to new perspectives, to new heights. I'm seeing some light language. They're pointing out the light language here in this card. I don't know if you can see it here on the sides. So I see you channeling light language. You're channeling light language, they say, specifically through vocal toning, through singing, through... so anything to do with like speaking. It could be like poetry, it could be singing, it could be writing, anything where you like get the words out is what they're saying. Like it could actually be toning, not just toning, speaking light language in different forms. So perhaps that's a new gift that has come online with you with this upgrade. And really, you're in a space now where you're able to draw back. I like to use that analogy of like zooming out and seeing things from a much higher perspective. So there's rarely anything that gets under your skin in this new energy, because it's a space where even if something triggers you, you're able to zoom out and go, okay, what's the big picture? Where is this trigger coming from? What is it that I need to learn through, and how do I rise from this? And that's a really powerful place to be. I came into that space, I want to say January of 2023. Yeah, January of 2023, I came into that space, and it was tough getting there. But once I got there, being able to have that ability to zoom out and see things from a higher perspective is, I feel like it's one of the most amazing tools that you can have in your tool belt, because it really shifts you from thinking that anything is happening to you to understanding that everything is happening for you. And from that space, you become the creator, and you create whatever it is that you want to bring into fruition. So it's a very aligned and high vibrational energy. And you're okay. So this is interesting. They're telling me that you're in this. They're telling me civil duty. Okay, can you go? I'm not quite understanding what you're wanting me to translate here. It's like, okay, so there's something that you've gone through, or that maybe you're currently growing through, where they're saying like it was your interesting words they're using, but it's like your duty. Like it was something that you needed to speak up. You needed to be the one to make the shift, to make the change. And because you've stood in your truth and you've surrendered and trusted the process of it, you have this new like oracle type energy that's coming in, that's going to align and direct you to everything that you really want in this lifetime. So they're telling you to be mindful of your words. And can you bring that back, Spirit, please? Be mindful of your words. And okay, I lost it. I'll ask them to. They just said it's not important. Be mindful of your words. That's the main thing, is like what you're speaking is coming into existence. So it's a great space to be in, this creative space of being able to zoom out and see how everything is happening for you, and being the creator of your own destiny, so to speak. However, because you're in that space, you have to be really mindful of what you're thinking, saying, doing, because if you think a negative thought, that thought is going to manifest. That's how quickly it's going to come into fruition for you. So be mindful of your thoughts. If you start to get into a negative thought pattern, have awareness that that's where you're going, and figure out how to get out of it. Maybe that's, for self, maybe it's putting on a song, maybe it's reaching out to a friend and saying, hey, I'm having these negative thoughts, or, can you help me work through this? Maybe it's just asking, the universe or your guides to come through and help you shift it. What do I need to learn from this? Where are these negative thoughts and patterns coming from? And being able to shift out of that so that you don't create something that's not already there. Okay. Okay, yeah, so some soul contracts have come to a close. They're bringing up, I had a session recently with someone where they had been feeling like there was a negative entity attached to them. And we cleared the entity. It was very negative. It was of a lower vibration, I guess is what I should say. And we were able to clear it. And when we went deeper and asked where that energy came from, it was a fragment of their soul from another lifetime. So your soul contracts are closing out. So that means like most people are so focused on what's going on right now in the physical, in this body that I'm in, what have I grown through in this life cycle. However, right now with this ascension, we are shifting through so many different timelines, and it's timelines. A lot of the Atlantean timeline is coming up. Ancient Egypt is coming up. A lot of, I'm hearing timelines of famine, timelines of just like deep poverty is what I'm hearing. Suppression timelines. All of this is coming up to be cleared. So think of like the energy they're giving me is like the times of the Great Depression, and there was the Spanish flu, and like all of these things that were going on all over, and all of that is also being cleared right now. So you've closed out with this shift, you've closed out some soul cycles, and you've let go of some of those fragmented energies that were coming from past lives. So it's bringing you back into alignment with Mama Earth. It's being able to ground into the earth energy so that you can reach higher into the higher dimensions to bring those energy downloads, that light language, that flow of higher vibrational energies through. So is there anything else with this card? Because I feel like it was kind of random that this came out after the counselor. What else do we need to know about this card, this heaven earth card? Okay, so 11, they're telling me the 11's a power number. And so there's possibly some unity coming in. It feels more like soul family. It doesn't feel like a love interest. It feels more like coming together with people that feel like family, that feel like, close friends, people that you can connect with. and really open up with. It's a shift into that space. So that's part of the gifts that are coming in. And is there anything else, Spirit? So they're saying I can pull one more. What else do they have? So now that this, those that chose this card have shifted into this higher timeline, and they're able to zoom out and create things from a higher space. And, they're in a space of learning to be mindful of their words and really being able to create their so-called heaven on earth in that space. What else do you have that is coming online? I'm hearing that there's a gift coming online. So what else is there coming online for them? Do you want both of these? Yes. All right. So union and stepping. So the crone energy is like, it's such a fun energy. I always love the crone. People think like the crone is old lady energy, and it's not. It really is being in a space of wisdom and grace, and being able to be wildly free and yourself, opening up to your full authenticity and not giving a shit what other people think or say or do, because you get to be authentically you. And so coming into that space of full authenticity is one of the gifts of moving through this. It's like you're already in it. There's no holding back. You're able to open up to that. And then they're saying the rising of the divine feminine is what I'm hearing with this card. The rising of the divine feminine. So perhaps stepping into your softening. I heard, like, as I was saying that, I heard like it's your soft era. Like it's a time for you to be soft and vulnerable and open, and just this like really loving, kind of like mama nourishing type energy that you're coming into. So allow yourself to soften into that energy, because that's what's going to bring more gifts. You're already in this space of authenticity. You're already in this space of like, that already happened with this shift for you, these soul fragments, leaving your body and you being able to fully open up to who you are. And now they're just saying, just soften into that feminine energy. This can be for a guy or a girl. It really just depends on how balanced your masculine and feminine energies are. But they're bringing up like a time of just softening and really allowing things to flow. Flowing is a feminine energy. So not being in a space of like hustle, grind, go get it, that feels like very masculine, right? Like having like a goal and a list and like all these things, like it's very like documented and logical, which is a very masculine energy. And they're telling you to soften into the flow of, I know what's meant for me will not pass me by. I know that everything is coming to me as long as I allow myself to open and be ready to receive. All right, we're gonna pull one last oracle card for this last pile. We have one last message for those that chose pile number 3 for this Moonday reading. Surrender and trust. Surrender and trust. So being in a new energy, they're just showing like this. Okay, they're wanting me to be specific. This heart opening, you see how open her heart is. She's like in this full back bend. Her heart is wide open. There's all of this energy rushing into and out of, and she's just wide open and ready to receive. And this energy comes from you settling into that surrender and trust. Wow, beautiful card there for you guys. All right, well, looks like it's going to be a good next several days for most of us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Please comment, like, share, and we'll see you next time. Adios.